And let's begin by telling you that 4 people, including members of the Anambra State Vigilante operatives, were killed on Monday when unidentified gunmen launched a deadly attack in Ukpo, Dunukufwa local government area and Abatete, Idimili North local government area of Anambra State. Eyewitnesses reported that the assailants, suspected to be forcing the Monday sit-at-home directive, stormed Abatete around 8:30 a.m., opening fire on residents. They then moved to the Okpu roundabout, where they randomly fired at people, including vigilante operatives. The attackers also set ablaze several vehicles belonging to the vigilante group and fled the scene after the carnage. Security forces are yet to confirm the identities of the gunmen or their motives as investigations continue into the violent incident. The Anambra State Police Command has assured residents of intensified security measures to prevent future attacks and apprehend those responsible for the atrocity. And now to discuss this, we're joined by founder Igbo Global Network, Tony Nwisi. Tony, many thanks for joining us. We appreciate you for coming on. Let's get started. If I were to begin, I would like to ask what are the current security dynamics in Anambra State that may have contributed to the recent gunmen attack, and just how does this incident fit into the pattern that we're seeing of violence in the region?
Thank you so much for having me, and you guys are doing a great job. You're broadcasting, independent broadcasting. The insecurity in Nigeria is the responsibility exclusively of the criminal politicians we have in Nigeria, from the so-called head of state all the way to local government chairman. They are responsible for the insecurity. It is not the responsibility of IPOB or any other pro-Igbo organization. The politicians are responsible. They are the ones who make the policy. They are the ones who enforce the policy, and they are the ones who are creating mayhem, causing mayhem for Nigerians and hardship for Nigerians generally.
And since we're talking about, those who might be responsible, what is then the role of non-state actors, including militias, in exacerbating insecurity in Anambra State? And what was it say about our intelligence? What intelligence indicates that their involvement in this specific attack?
Well, you have to ask yourself, what is the role of politicians? Their responsibility, what they are paid for, they're actually public servants. But in Nigeria, they behave as if they're the masters. They are public servants. Their job is to protect life and property of their citizens. So why is Nigeria in a mess? Nigeria is in a mess because the politicians are not working for the interests of Nigerians. They're working for the interests of foreign governments. They're not working for the interests of Nigerians. I mean, what does it take to have security in a nation, in a country? It's not rocket science. Decentralized police system. Why is policing in Anambra happening from Abuja? Why is Haruna policing somebody in Ubomosho, commissioner in Ubomosho? So all of this is a facade by politicians who are working for foreign agencies, who are not working for the interests of Nigerians. And it's as simple as that. There's no other way. They can dance around it. They can come up with all manner of cock and bull story. They are causing mayhem for Nigerians. It's not rocket science. I live here in Florida. Each county has a police service responsible to the people. And so why do we have one man in Abuja deciding policing for people in Sokoto, people in Gomosho, people in Lagos? That's a lot of nonsense. It is designed to enslave Nigerians. Nigerians are not free people. They are living in what I call a slave plantation, because they made a constitution for themselves. The 1999 constitution was not made by Nigerians. They made it for themselves, and it was dictated to them by foreign governments, using it as an instrument to enforce their will on Nigeria and to exploit our resources. So Nigerians must pay attention, and my message is, hold your politicians accountable. Your local government politicians, they are responsible for the criminality in your local government. Your senators, hold them accountable. And here, the flip side of it is this. If Nigerians refuse to hold these criminal politicians accountable, then they cannot complain, and they should not complain.
And as we're holding in account, if we're talking accountability, let's also talk about, law enforcement. What specific law enforcement or military strategies then should, we know that it's not been decentralized in terms of security agency, but for now, what strategy should be employed by the Nigerian security agencies to address the rise of this gunmen attacks that we see in Anambra State?
You talk about military strategy, and this is where Nigerians have been so confused and so abused. The job of the military is not to police the country. The job of the military is to protect the integrity, the physical borders of the nation, to fight wars against other countries. It is the job of the police to police a geographical area. So, this is the problem. Nigerian governments, and I'm not talking about Tinubu's government now, this started with previous government, especially Buhari's government, using the military against citizens is criminality. The military is supposed to fight wars against other countries. But you use the military to police citizens, to slaughter citizens, and Nigerians have allowed it. Nigerians have kept quiet. Hey, if you keep quiet, you'll be treated like a slave. It is the job of the police is to investigate crime, arrest their suspected perpetrators, and bring them before a judge and a jury. Make the case, give the man his rights or the woman his rights, and then make the case before an independent judicial system. But as you and I know, Nigerian judges are not independent. Nigerian judges are APC judges. They are not independent. And that is why Nigeria is in a state of perpetual confusion. Nigeria is a slave plantation. It's not going anywhere, and it's not going to get better. And my message to Nigerians is, you have a responsibility, and your responsibility is to protest. Protest before your local government chairman. Go to his house, occupy his house, occupy the local government chairman. Okay, because that's his job, to make sure your local government is safe for citizens. So if the local government, if the local authority area is not safe for citizens, why is the local government chairman being paid? And then if the citizens keep quiet, then they deserve whatever suffering they have. Nigerians are slaves. They must admit they are slaves because they have refused to rise up against the politicians, the local government politicians, and the senators and the House of Rep people, National Assembly. Nigerians have refused to confront them. Our message to Nigerians is, take your responsibility seriously, confront your politicians. They are responsible for the mayhem in Nigeria. The moment Nigerians confront the politicians,
all right,
you're going to have a safe.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you so much for joining us. But again, I have to put this out there as just to say this to our viewers. There have been protests. We've seen that from hashtag End Bad Governance. We've also seen it from hashtag End SARS, and both have not ended well for Nigerians. And I strongly believe that if we're calling for protests, it must be in a place where dissent is respected and is understood as part of democracy, and people are not maimed and abused or arrested unlawfully because they are exercising their rights. I'm just going to put this out there. But once again, Mr. Tony, we appreciate you for coming on. Tony Nwusi there, founder Igbo Network, all the way from Florida, USA, to join us to have a bit of insight on the security situation in Anambra State.